morning or good afternoon from wherever you are tuning in from. And my name is Angeline Constantino, and welcome back to Let's Break the Silence with Angeline, another new podcast episode this week. And this is a space where faith-driven women come to break free from the past, reclaim their confidence, and step into their God-given purpose. And today we have an incredible guest who embodies that mission so beautifully. So joining me is Heather McNally. She is a master certified life fulfillment coach, keynote speaker, and best-selling author. With her background in psychology, Heather blends brain science, positive psychology, and her own lived experiences to help women break through those limiting beliefs, embrace the power of choice, and create a life of true happiness and fulfillment. Not only is Heather a lifelong learner and advocate for self-discovery, she's also married to her best friend for 30 years, is a proud mother of 2 young men, and an animal lover with 3 dogs and 2 cats. So today we're going to dive deep into what it really takes to release those limiting beliefs, shift into empowerment, and boldly live the life that you were created and destined to be. So without further ado, Heather.
Hi, Angeline.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
I am doing great, doing just wonderful on a Wednesday morning. It's a beautiful day, just so much to be grateful for. Just waking up and taking your first breath. It's
absolutely
huge. So I always ask my guests, what time is it where you are right now?
So first of all, thank you for having me here, because part of my gratitude is you.
Thank you.
I'm grateful for you and the connection we've made. It is after 10 here. It is 10:24. I'm in Massachusetts.
Wow.
So East Coast girl in the U.S.
Well, I used to live in upstate New York, Saratoga Springs. So I traveled to Massachusetts many times. So glad that you're here with us today, because we have so much to talk about. Okay. Yes. We have so much to talk about. So if you're just 1 minute, so if you're watching the live on Facebook, YouTube, and my Instagram channel at Angeline_Constantino, please hashtag live in the comments and let us know where you are live streaming from so we can give you a shout out. And if you are watching the replay, please hashtag replay, and let's dive into what we're going to talk about today. So a little bit about you, Heather. Can you share a little bit about your journey and what led you to become a life fulfillment coach?
Okay, so I've been around for 53 years now. And so first of all, life experience right there. And so my life started out with being born to a family where my mom was amazing, but a flawed human being like everybody else. And my father was abusive, definitely narcissistic, paranoid, and probably a few other diagnoses, but he never would get help or figure that out because he was never wrong. Everything was right with him. So it was an abusive household. And I can talk about it with it not being so heavy at this point, because I've processed so much of it throughout my life. But basically, he was physically abusive, yes, but worse than that, it was psychological abuse. It was the emotional and the verbal abuse. And essentially, it taught me that I was not worthy of anything. I wasn't worthy of love. I wasn't worthy of being seen, being heard, being visible in any way, shape, or form, that everything was my fault. He taught me that I was here to make others happy. So I became the ultimate people pleaser. And what happened in that is that I got those limiting beliefs. And if people don't know what limiting beliefs are, where they come from, by the age of 7, you've already developed your belief systems. And, the fact is your brain isn't fully formed until you're 25 years old. So at a point where you're completely helpless in terms of deciding whether or not these things are true, they're placed upon you. And they're not necessarily placed upon you for any ill reason. Like, it could just be going out to the store and your parent says, no, you can't have that. You want food today. And your brain has to internalize things so that you can function in society, right? So we learn from those people that we're surrounded by, parents, friends, teachers, things like that. And so my beliefs were, and I was actually told, this is your fault. You didn't do anything right. I have a younger brother. Anything he did wrong, I was blamed for because I was the eldest. It was my responsibility somehow.
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 To that, by
He
the
was
way.
in another part of the house and I wasn't there, but somehow it was
Yeah.
my responsibility. I can laugh at it now, and you have to kind of take things and rewrite them for yourself sometimes. But when you're in it, it was horrible. I was miserable. I hated myself. I hated him. And so as I got older, I started something about me was stronger and was like, you know what, this is not what I want for myself in my life. So throughout my life, I learned lessons here and there, and I took them as lessons, and we hear that phrase, you grow through what you go through, but it's so true, because everything you go through and experience teaches you life lessons. And I've even been working with my kids on teaching them that when they go through great things, average things, or the really, really hard down in the mud, feel like you're stuck things. So my life, started with that. And I can tell you that, I had certain moments that came along that kind of smacked me in the face and showed me that I had these limiting beliefs, because you don't even know. It's just who you are, right? You take on who you are. You think this is who you are until something changes and you become aware, and then you can make those changes. So throughout my life, the experience growing up with my father, meeting the man that became my husband, I was still 17 when I met him, and we started dating at 18. So I've been with him most of my life at this point. Having my own children taught me so many things. The experience with my mom of being on the outside and seeing her being married to somebody that treated her not so well.
Right.
And then she became terminally ill, going through her illness with her. So much taught me. Everything that I experienced taught me what I wanted, what I didn't want, who I was, who I wasn't, what I wanted to work towards. And as I grew, I started getting more into personal development. I started to really do some work on myself. And all along, there was this little voice in the back of my head that said, you have a story to tell. You have a mission. You have a message, and it's to help others. But I just, it took all these pieces to finally come together and figure out what it was that I was meant to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's like you and I have similar stories, like I had a younger brother, but, it was, not easy.
Yeah, no.
Not easy.
And honestly, my relationship with him even now is not easy because of how we both handled the abuse.
Right.
I love him, but it's not easy.
It's not easy, right? It's not easy at all.
Nope.
It's not easy at all. And you've come a long way in your journey. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
so
you.
Proud of you.
And I'm proud of you too.
Oh, thank you. We're proud of you. Yes,
Look at what we're doing.
That's right. That's who we are.
Yeah.
I mean, unapologetically,
Right.
but we had to do the inner work. We had to do all that inner work.
Yep.
Because we're not conscious of our beliefs.
Right. Exactly.
We're not conscious of it.
I mean, I had a couple moments that really hit me in the face. Like I say, they were my brick in the face moments that made me like, wow. And truly see what I was doing and what I was thinking.
Right.
To help me start to change, because you can't change if you're not aware. What you don't know. And when you start to know it, and for me, that's a huge thing, is like when I become aware of something, it just sits there and it's like right here yelling at me. It's not, it may start whispering, but then it's eventually like pretty quickly for me, a yell, like it's screaming at me, like you need to do something about this.
Exactly. Absolutely. I can totally relate to that. So being that you have background in psychology, how has that shaped your coaching style and the way you help women today?
So I did get a bachelor's degree in psychology a couple years ago, a few hundred years ago, it feels like. And then I've since been studying positive psychology, and I'm starting to get into more of the energetic psychology now as well. But really, it's understanding, to me, it's understanding how your brain works
Okay.
along with the energy of your body and what you're putting into your
Mm.
body and your brain. Because I really believe more and more in a holistic health kind of, you know, way of being.
Right.
Because you can think all you want, but if you're not feeding your body what it needs physically, what it needs energetically, what it needs psychologically, it's not all going to come together. So the study of psychology is really it's really interesting, and there's so many different theories and everything, but I definitely just feel like positive psychology and energy psychology are kind of where I feel I'm headed towards more. I think
Oh,
that it
that's
helped
good.
me understand a lot more about the human existence,
Mm.
but there's so much to it. Um, And it just really helps to have an understanding of how people think and how the brain works. The brain is fascinating, fascinating. And the more positive you put into it, the more positive you are going to live your life. And, something as simple as a gratitude practice every night. And that's kind of how I started really changing a lot was this, truly making and creating the habit and following through with the habit of going to bed and thinking about three things that I was grateful for, whether
Right.
they were things that happened that day or just in general, whatever came to me, and then something I was looking forward to. And my psychology changed because of that. And it
Wow.
sounds so simple and like, oh, yeah, whatever. But it truly changed who I was, like how I felt. Like I went to bed, and at first, like creating a habit, you have to start it. It takes, they say what, 21 days or so
21 days to form
least
a
to get
habit.
it in
Yes.
part of you. But, at first I'd go to bed and I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to think about this. Three
Mm.
things I'm grateful for, one thing I'm looking forward to. Okay. And so for, probably the first like week, I had to like remind myself. And then it started to become something that was like, oh, yeah, I get to think about that. And then by, it's not like all day I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get to bed to think about this. Cause I would think about it more all the time because it was becoming a habit. And so when I'd go to bed, it wasn't like, oh, I have to get to bed. Oh, I'm not going to fall asleep because I'm crabby or because I'm thinking about this and my brain is just going and going and going. I would go to bed sometimes. That would take me 2 to 3 hours to fall asleep.
Oh,
So what
wow.
ended up happening with changing nothing else was I'd get into bed and I'd be so excited to think about these things. And so I'd think about them, which would just get me in this like, relaxed, great feeling. I
Yeah.
started falling asleep easier. I slept better through the night, and I woke up in a more positive attitude, like in a
Right.
better place. And it was like, instead of waking up and like I'm still not a morning person, I'm working on it, but I would wake up. I used to wake up like swearing, like literally. My alarm would go off and I'd be like, "Wah, wah," like
Oh, wow.
if you could imagine the most angry person. And that alone changed me. So I'm sleeping better, which is getting me in a better mood, frame of mind, which is making me more productive, which
Right.
is more energy. And so just the psychology of that was a massive shift in my life. And I was happier to see people. I was more pleasant to be around. It was wild.
Wow. Oh my God. What time do you get up in the morning now?
Oh, so it depends. I
Okay.
try to, usually around 7. Um,
7. Okay.
yeah, I'm not a morning girl. I'm just not. I'm a night owl, but I've been working on it because my husband is an accountant. He has an hour drive to work every day.
Oh,
So he
wow.
has to get up early and so I'm trying to make myself get up. Like he got up at 6 this morning. So I didn't get out of bed right away, but I was like, all right, I'm awake and I'm going to start like slowly because I don't drink coffee or
Slowly, like
anything.
meditating, even meditating in bed. I mean, I'll wake up at 5 and I'll lie in bed for a half hour, 20 minutes just to meditate,
Yeah.
But
Yep.
then I wake up. I got in the habit of waking up at 5 because number one, I used to work in corporate America, so I had to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's just
I was fortunate, very fortunate, to be able to be a stay-at-home mom. So
good.
my first child is 23. So
Ooh.
23, he was born in August. So 23 years ago, I was fortunate enough I went on maternity leave and we ended up making the decision that at least for a while I'd stay home.
Okay.
I was driving into Boston. I'm like 30 miles outside of Boston.
Yeah.
So my commute every day was minimum an hour and a half each way.
Oh, I believe
So,
it. Yeah.
yes. And I mean, that's minimum. Like that's on a good day. Yeah. I've had commutes. I had to commute one time that was 3.5 hours getting to work. So by the time I got to work, I was like,
You're
frazzled,
exhausted. You're exhausted.
exhausted.
Sure.
Yeah. So I didn't want to have to do that commute. So we thought, all right, well, we'll do the maternity leave, see what we can figure out. And then it was, okay, we're going to stay home. And I ended up staying home the whole time. Like I have 2 kids. My youngest is 19 now. He's in his second year in college. And so I was able to stay home with him throughout his education. And I was like the stay-at-home mom that was never home though. I was always out like volunteering in the classrooms. Even when my kids moved on, I'd stay with teachers and, volunteer there. I was in the mom's club. I was in the PTO. I was doing all these things. And during that, I also had a sick mom that I took care of for years.
Wow.
So I had a lot of purpose and a lot of things that I did during that time. So that, I was really fortunate to be able to be with them, but it was nice in the respect that, I could get up with my kids and stuff, but I didn't have to be somewhere.
Right.
I didn't have to be at that corporate job.
Right. That's a good feeling. That's a good feeling when you don't have to commute to a corporate job and you can work on your passion and your mission, know.
Now, don't get me wrong. There were hard times. I mean, it's not like we're like flowing in the money. Like we could have certainly done a whole lot more in life if I had worked, but it was our choice that I was able to be there with my kids. And I'm grateful for that, for the fact that I was able to experience everything with them. But I'm also grateful for that because it gave me so many opportunities to do the volunteer work and things like that and meet other people. But I was also be able to be with my mom, and my mom needed that. Like she was legally blind. She ended up with COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, not from smoking. They literally cannot figure out why she ended up with this. At 40, she became legally blind. At 55, she had to retire. She was a school teacher. And she, just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And we finally figured out what it was. And at the age of 65, she got a lung transplant and passed at 69. So from 55 to 69, I was like her ages. I was her person. She was still married to my father, but unfortunately, he was, should I say, useless. He didn't go to appointments with her. He didn't do anything with her.
No support whatsoever.
Yeah, none. And actually, if you want to talk about like stress and psychology and what happens to your body with the cortisol that she had in her body all the time because of the stress and the screaming and the fighting and all that. I know that was part of what killed her. I know that in my heart and soul, but I couldn't make decisions for her. So, I became her advocate. I became, and so anyway, that's, I'm grateful for being able to be there and do that. And it all brought me to my purpose.
Good. That
was a lot.
all of that pain led to your purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing. It's like, I just want other people to see that there's hope when you're in that dark, dark place, when you feel like you can't get out of your own way, when you feel like this is it.
Yeah.
I want to help people see that and kind of get through it faster than I did, because it took my whole life to get to a place where I was happy
Oh,
with
sure.
myself. Like, I love my husband, I love my family, I love people so much. And at one point I had a coach who actually said to me, he's like, "You're interesting because you have this zest for life. You love so much,
You
but you
do.
hate
You
yourself."
do. I
He's
love
like,
your energy.
"Thank you. And I love yours too. And that's
Thank
why
you.
we're
That's why we're
connected.
both here today.
That's why we're here."
Yeah.
But he's like, "You hate yourself." And I'm like, "Yeah." So that's why I'm doing this, is like, if I can help somebody else get through it faster than I did, that's my life's purpose at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely. And I want to talk about that, about the power of choice.
Mm.
So, why is the power of choice such a critical factor in creating a fulfilling life?
Oh, so, there's a lot that goes into it. I'm going to make it as simple as possible.
Good.
Your thoughts, whatever you're thinking, create your feelings. So what you're feeling is going to create what you do, your action. So you're basically, people tend to react to how they're feeling, and they make a choice and they do something, and that gives them their results.
Right.
Now, there's so much energy and everything that goes into it also, but basically, if you don't like your results, you need to go all the way back and look at your thoughts.
Right.
So if I'm thinking, well, I feel like crap today, that makes me feel, or I'm thinking like, they didn't get back to me, I must be a loser. And I've thought those things, right? So those thoughts that you're thinking,
Mm.
first of all, that goes into your reticular activating system. So the brain, you've got your conscious and your subconscious, right?
Right. That's
So
it.
your conscious is only 5% running you. You're running on 95% subconscious. And
That's
the thing
true.
is, your subconscious can't reject. It can only accept what you tell it. What goes
Mm.
in cannot be rejected. That's only able to be done in your conscious brain, which is only running 5% of you.
That's
Okay.
true. That's true.
So when you put something into your brain like, "Oh, I must be a loser because they didn't contact me, they didn't respond to me," what you're doing is you're putting in there, your reticular activating system goes,
Mm.
"Okay, I'm going to do whatever I can to prove her right." So it can't reject what you're saying. So if you say, "I'm a great person," it's looking to prove you're right. But
Right.
and that's why the
Exactly.
gratitude works, when you tell yourself these things, because you're accepting, like, these things. So when you put in there the thought, "Ugh, they didn't get back to me, I must be a loser," then you feel crappy. You feel like a loser.
Exactly.
So there's your emotional response, right? Your emotional response is driving you to do something. How many times do people go, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I regret doing that," because they responded from an emotional place.
There you go. See?
Yes.
See?
And then when you respond from that emotional place and you do the action, you get your results from that. So go back to that thought. Why did I do that? Because I was feeling like crap. Why was I feeling like crap? Because they didn't get back to me and I put it in my mind that I'm a loser.
See? See?
So put in your mind, "No, they didn't get back to me. I'm moving on to the next one because somebody out there needs me today."
Right.
And then you start feeling like, yeah, somebody needs me. So I'm starting to feel good. You're going to have a different reaction and
Mhm.
action. And therefore, so that's a choice. It's all choice. You can't make a choice unless you're aware. You become aware of it, you get to make the choice. I
Right.
can make the choice of saying, "I'm a loser," and then feeling like crap, or, "You know what? Somebody else is going to respond to me that needs me."
There you go. There you
And
go.
there is your choice. Your choice is like I say, your choice is your superpower. It's all about choice. And I do that choose a word every year.
Mm.
So choose was my word this year. And I
I
made
love
a bracelet for it and everything. Choose was my word this year and I thought, do I want choice or choose? And I was like, no, choose, because that's the action. It's a
that's the
verb.
action. Right.
And so, you know, that's the very first thing you can do for yourself is be aware of what you're feeling.
Mm.
You can make an empowered choice.
I agree. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And it
Ab-
can change everything.
exactly. Exactly. And I want to talk about that because, like, for women who feel overwhelmed or uncertain about their next steps, so what's a simple choice that they could make today that could shift their path forward? What's
It can
one thing?
literally be anything. It can literally be anything. If you need to decompress because your stress level is through the roof, take 5, 10 minutes, listen to music, go for a walk, go to somewhere that speaks to you, like nature, the beach, sit in the woods,
That's
because
what I
we're
do.
meant to be in concert, acting in concert with the universe and with
I love
nature.
it.
Um, it can be reaching out to somebody. This is powerful. Reaching out to somebody and telling them how you feel. People have a tendency, and I feel like our generation, like the Gen Xers
The Gen
and
Xers.
beyond. Yeah, baby.
I'm a baby boomer, by the way.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, I think you're a Gen Xer,
Thank
so
you.
because
I probably
you're
should.
following this path of
Yeah.
owning your story and speaking out. Right? So many people, like my mom was of that generation of definitely a baby boomer. You're just not, in my opinion. But
Okay.
very much like you keep everything close to the vest. You don't share, you don't talk about things, you
Right.
hold it privately. And that's what I was taught to do, especially by my father, who was like, you don't speak about what happens in this family.
Oh, I know.
There,
Same
you know,
thing with me. Oh, yeah. Not in Greek. My mom would say in Greek, "Miles tipota." That means don't say anything.
yeah, yeah. It was everything's a secret, especially where I was in an abusive environment. He didn't
Yeah.
want anyone to
See?
know. He didn't want anyone to know anything. And I was a rebel, and I'm like, I talked about things. Now it took me a while. Like in high school, I kind of started speaking to people about things. I had one teacher in particular who was amazing for me. Who I was actually like, I was an all A student. I was like total school nerd, loved it, loved it.
Wow, that's great.
Senior year, was it junior? I think senior year in high school, I was taking a course and I actually was failing it. And it's not because I didn't understand it or whatever. It was because I wasn't doing the work. And I wasn't doing the work because I was so sick of being told what to do all the time, all my life, in a nasty, nasty way. And so I just started withdrawing, and that was kind of my rebellion. And so this teacher gave me a progress report that basically, if you don't change, your trajectory right now, you're going to fail this quarter. And I was like, ugh. And I got it and I burst into tears, and he pulled me aside and he's like, what's going on? And so I started to tell him a little bit, and he took it, and he had actually met my father because my father had gone in for teacher conference once, and he took it and he ripped it up, and he's like, if you promise me you'll do better, this is gone. And I was like, I promise you I'll do better. And I did. But it was people like that showed me a little bit of something, caring, belief in me, that started me being able to start to open up. And that was it. Like I was done with keeping it a secret. Now, in respect to my mom, I didn't tell family.
Right.
They knew that I didn't like my father, and I would get little comments here and there throughout my life of, well, he's still your father. But I tried to keep it respectful for my mom's sake because she was still with him. After she passed away, I started talking to my family about her siblings, about what had happened. And they were like, oh my God, we had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, because she kept it quiet. He certainly wasn't going to out himself. And I was taught I couldn't talk, and then eventually didn't talk because I didn't want to put my mom in a position where she had to answer to them. So yeah.
See? Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. I can relate. That is a lot. That
It
is
is.
a lot.
It is. And don't get me wrong, I know other people go through so much worse, physically,
They
being
do.
broken bones, people lose their lives. But I will say it's all relative, to your own experience. So I don't want to compare. But what I learned at a very young age was I'm not worthy of this life. And it took so much work to get to a different place, because I'll be honest with you, and I don't want to trigger anybody, but I had suicidal ideation. I looked into what I could do. I started making a plan.
Wow.
And, so I think reaching out to people and being open can make the world of difference, because back to your question, finally, reaching out to somebody and talking to them. And for anybody, and I just talked to this girl who wrote a book that I was chatting with her, and she said her book was about the death of her brother by suicide, and she said, don't worry about invading somebody's privacy. The best question you can ask somebody if you think that they're in a really bad place is, are you thinking about taking your own life? And it can open up something in somebody that they've never opened up about, but maybe that can save their life.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
So just talking to somebody, go to a therapist, go to a priest, go to a best friend, go to anybody, and just open yourself up a little bit. Somebody that you trust, that you feel safe with, and just talk. That can make a huge difference in your life.
And that's what I did. That's both of us. Like, I went to the priest, and then I went to the Dutchess County Health Department, mental health department. And I had a therapist for 1 year. She changed my life, because guess what? She went through what I went through.
Yeah. And that's amazing that you did that. And I'm proud of you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
It truly takes strength.
It takes a lot of strength. And yet so many women feel ashamed to take that first step. So take that first step, ladies.
Yes.
Just go talk to someone. Actually, a friend of mine, I talked to her this morning because she needed me, so I talked to her this morning. Got to let it out, because the more you suppress it,
it builds, it grows in your mind, and it becomes something that feels absolutely insurmountable.
There you go.
It's not. And that's the thing. It's not. It feels it, because I've been there and I felt that.
Right.
It's not. And so for me to be able to go from the life that I literally hated myself to a life where I am lit up, I am happy, I am owning who I am, am I perfect? No. Am I ever going to be perfect? I don't believe in perfection. There's no such thing.
Oh, there's no such thing as perfection. It's real and raw. This is real and raw.
Yeah. Yep. And I love real and raw. Like, I love it. That's what lights me up. Having real conversations, no fake, no, do I want to try to present myself physically so that I'm like, okay, I'm put together, but it makes me feel good to be put together.
Well, sure.
I
agree.
But real and raw is my jam too.
Oh yeah, me too. Let's talk about that. The real and raw liberation.
Yes.
What inspired you? So tell me.
So all right. So I had written a chapter in a book, and part of the whole thing is, okay, let's get this marketing out there. Like, let's let people know about it, because the book is about 7 women's stories, and they're real and raw, right? So let's do some podcasts. Let's, just market, like, get it out there so that people can hear about this. Well, that meant I was getting onto podcasts. So I happened to see a post that somebody did, and her name was Claire Garner. And I was like, ooh, I don't know, something about, like, your energy comes across, right?
Oh, I agree.
It's not in person. It comes across. And so I read it and I was like, ooh, I think I want to, reach out to her. So I did. And that was it. Like, I was like, okay, you are one of my people. I need to be in your world. I need to have you in my world. So we started talking, and then she told me about this real and raw movement that she's, started, and her raw talks, and how you can do speaking opportunities using her framework. And I was like, I'm so intrigued, because everything that she was saying was just like lighting me up more and more.
Oh yeah.
And so we just started communicating back and forth, and I got myself scheduled and did her podcast. But she's like, hey, I'm doing this, she's from England. So she's like, I'm doing this live event. Would you be interested in checking it out? And I'm like, okay. where is it? And I'm like, I'm certainly not opposed to going to England, but
Right.
where is it? And she's like, it's in Austin, Texas. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny. I have family that came from Massachusetts and all live in Austin,
Yeah,
Texas.
you had mentioned that to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like, I've been wanting to go see them and I can go to this. Oh, and then, after knowing a little bit about my story and whatnot, she's like, would you be interested in being a speaker? Yes.
Oh,
I
yes.
just started speaking recently and I'm like, absolutely. And that was it. Like, I am now in her world, doing, learned her framework, working with her, and I'm going to be a speaker. And that's how I met you. And
That's how we met, because I spoke at Real and Raw in London.
yeah.
That was, yeah.
And honestly, I wish I thought about it so I could have come as a guest and
I know. That was amazing. That was a huge experience. Many, many breakthroughs happened after that.
Oh,
And now you and I will be, well, I'll be the spotlight speaker and you are the headline speaker.
I'm one of the headline speakers. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what will you be sharing?
So I'm going to be sharing a bit about my story.
Oh, good.
I don't have everything worked out yet, but about the story, about the limiting beliefs.
There you go.
With storytelling, with real authentic storytelling. And, I'm going to go there. I'm going to be raw. And, it's just amazing because that's who I am. So I love that this is like not your scripted average speech.
Right. This is not scripted where you have a presentation.
Right.
It's not a TED Talk.
No slides, none of that. It's going to be like pouring out from your heart.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Because speaking from the heart and showing your authenticity, that's how your story can have an impact. And that's why Real and Raw appealed to me.
Yeah. How did you get connected?
We got connected on Facebook.
Okay.
So I believe that Claire found me through another mutual friend, because I was speaking at a deep dive mastermind event. I'm a co-author of a book series. So she found me and then she messaged me and I was like, oh my God, like we've been friends for a while, but like not really like communicating with each other. But then when we met on Zoom, I said, I'm going.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you loved it?
Loved it. What an experience.
Yeah. So I'm just like
sisterhood. Like I felt like we built a really solid sisterhood community. And in fact, one of the spotlight speakers, we went shopping, and it was like, I consider her my soul sister, and I consider you obviously my soul sister. So it was just the real and raw conversations, the speakers, sharing their real life stories from the heart.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Oh, I can't wait, because not only do we have a day of like speaking and people literally touching your heart, but the next day is all about like somatic work, breathing. And I can't wait for the sound healing. And,
Me too. I've done sound healing meditation. It's great.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
The two women, Claire and Natalia, that are running this, like, we're in this world with them, and we had that first meeting that we had, and it was amazing. Like the energy and the connectivity that we all started already building. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. It's going to be amazing. And we get to stay in this nice hotel, and they're going to sorry, but
we're going to have so much fun.
We're going to have so much fun. I can't wait.
So it's open to, I think they said like up to 120 women. So everybody get there.
Everybody get there. We'll post the links in the show notes and also on the live here, so you can buy your ticket, because it's going to be amazing. And if you live in Austin, Texas, obviously we would love to have you there. But people are flying in from now. Claire is flying from London.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm coming from Mass.
And I'm flying from Florida.
Yeah. So we're going to have people from everywhere.
People from everywhere. This is a global movement.
Yeah.
A global movement of empowered women. So we will post the links to order your tickets. So in the show notes for both of us. So actually now I want to talk about you've been married to your best friend for 30 years. I want to talk about faith, family, and balance. So and you've raised two young men. So how has family life influenced your work and your message?
Well, I can say with super pride that I raised two amazing men that are emotionally connected, like their whole beings. And, you know, I'm super proud of that. I'm super proud of who they are. And, it's just my boys reach out to me all the time. That right there is everything to me
Wow.
because, it was hard for them to move. Like I'm in Massachusetts. My oldest lives in Vermont. He went to college up in Vermont.
Yeah.
He lives there. That's it. Like he's never going to live at home again unless, God forbid something happens. And of course, my doors are open. But he moved out. And then my second goes to the University of Michigan. So he is in his sophomore year now. So the first year it was like, all right, now my baby's moving out. But he came home for the summer, now he's in a house out there. And
Wow.
this kid they're both very independent kids. But this kid in particular is like, I'll live in a van down by the river before I move back home. And it has nothing to do with our relationship. He's just fiercely independent.
Wow.
And so I know that chances are they're never going to live at home with me again. So it was hard in that respect, like my babies,
They're
but
your babies.
who I know they'll always be my babies. But who they are and the relationship that we developed is just so beautiful. And so I hear from them quite often and I just love it. So it gave me a very different perspective of who parents can be and who kids can be and how open relationships can be and how you can have great talks. Like literally they can ask me anything and I will talk about it and I will ask them anything. And if they don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But if they want to talk about it, I'm here for it. So, I'm sure over the years, there have been some moments where it's like, oh my God, why are we talking about this? That they've been like, oh, I don't want to hear this,
I want to hear this. Yeah.
You ask the question, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you in the best, in an appropriate way, depending on their age and what we're talking about, of course. But I think it showed me the power of a family and connection. Connection is everything. We're social beings. We're meant to be connected with people. We're not meant to be locked up in a house and never get out of the house. We're meant to have love in our lives. So I think I was able to prove to myself that I was a cycle breaker. I was able to prove to myself that I had a message to share because raising my children, I was sharing those messages with them without even knowing I was sharing those messages with them. And that it was all building me to becoming who I am now and my business now and, how I live my life now. So, and having my husband, having a supportive partner. I don't care if you're married or not. I don't care, any of that. Having a supportive partner when you are with somebody is so important.
I agree.
If you're not with somebody, that's fine. But if you're with somebody, having them support you and you support them in dreams and goals and who you are has been huge for me because he's helped me see who I am and what I'm capable of. And he believes in me. Even when I started into this coaching world and he was like, he's an accountant. He's like, I don't understand.
There you go. He's all about numbers.
He's like a business guy. He is awesome. I love him to death.
Oh, that's great.
But he was like, I don't get what you're doing, but I 100% support you. But I had to, talk him through like what I was going to do to be able to make this become a business and everything. Because I was like, can you help me with a business model? He's like, I have no idea what it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he has absolutely been my biggest supporter and just an amazing person. So having somebody in your life that supports you, partner, best friend, brother, sister, it does not matter.
Does not matter, right?
People who believe in you and support you. And then what's been beautiful is as I became, owning, and I'm sure you've seen the same thing, as you own who you are, as you own this business that you're in, as you own what it is you're doing, and you speak more and you meet more people. And I don't mean speak on stages necessarily, speaking out in anywhere, any
Oh,
platform,
it could be anywhere on
physically
a
in
podcast,
person.
stage.
Yeah.
Ready for this?
Um,
This is the stage
anywhere.
right now.
Exactly. Or even just talking one-on-one with a person in your house.
Oh, yeah.
It's as you do that and you become more aware of who you are, and then you start connecting with other people that will support you and that you can support back, like we're doing, and
Right.
it's just the most beautiful thing. It's
It
so
is a
beautiful.
beautiful thing.
I think,
Absolutely.
meeting my husband because of who he is and the relationship that we have with the support and growing our own family, it all opened my eyes every day. It's eye-opening.
Very eye-opening. That's great that you have a supportive husband
It is. It is.
because you made a huge investment in yourself.
Yeah.
The best investment that you can make is in yourself. And I know that for a fact.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Huge
Yep.
investment, but it's so, so worth it because it changes your life and, like it changes your family.
Yep.
And for the, like, I want to ask you this because something struck a chord with me regarding your fulfillment journey. Where does faith or spirituality come into play in your fulfillment journey?
So in terms of spirituality, I am one who speaks in terms of like universe and
Universe.
energy, and 100% I believe and respect everybody's spiritual journey wherever they are, and whatever words they use for it. For me, it's about believing in the power of the universe, the power of connection, the power of being a good person, um, the power
Right.
of positivity, all of it, energy. And so for me, it's believing in myself now and believing that I have a place in this universe and that I'm meant to be here and I have a purpose.
Right.
And I think we all do. Years ago, I heard someone say, everyone has a story. And I was like, I don't have a story.
Oh yeah, me too. That's a false belief, actually. That's a false belief.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think we're all here for a reason. And, if you hear like statistics on what it takes to actually become a human being, like to be conceived and become, a full human being, the chances of you being here are astronomically small. So
I
you're
agree.
here for a reason.
Totally agree. We are here for a reason and a season.
Yeah.
So we're coming up to the top of the hour. I absolutely love this conversation. So what's one piece of advice that you would give to a woman listening right now who feels stuck and is struggling to believe that she can create change?
I want you, first of all, to become aware of how you're feeling. Like,
Okay.
sit in that. Sit down. People don't take the time to understand how they're feeling a lot of the time. They might be like, I don't know. I have to go, go, go. That's all I do. And they just brush it off. They
Right.
don't ever sit and truly think. Like a mom sometimes will be like, I just have to go. I have to take care of the kids. I have to do this. I have to do this. Stop for a minute. Stop. When can you take 5 minutes to yourself and stop and just sit in it and feel how you're feeling? If you can't change something if you don't know it. So if you're sitting there going, I'm miserable, I'm always going, 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 or I can't get out of my own way, sit and truly think about why, and then reach out to somebody. Somebody can help you let yourself talk through it. Tell them, I need to talk and I need to figure out why I'm feeling this way.
Right,
But
exactly.
just that awareness and then reaching out to somebody.
Reaching out to someone. There you go. What we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's great advice. And where can our listeners find you, connect with your work, or grab a copy of your book, Rise? Let's talk about Rise for a minute.
Okay. Yep. So I'm part of, I wrote a chapter in a book called Rise, How to Find Your People, Power, and Purpose in Your Journey Towards Success. And it's on Amazon.
Right.
And it is a book with 7 women sharing their heart and their stories. And these are real and raw stories. Like nobody made it look pretty and perfect. But what you learn is where we were and where we are. Like, what did we have to do? And so it gives you an introductory taste, but I think that there's women that everybody can find a piece of themselves in their story. Like my story, yeah, it started with childhood abuse, but there's always those, you may not have had the abuse, but you may say, oh, I have felt unworthy. Oh, I have felt unseen. So there's something that everybody can find in themselves. And you can find me on heathermcnally.com. And on my page there, I've got the information for my book. I have a journal I created, how you can work with me, how you can get a free consultation with me, and even what I call my limiting beliefs finder, just to kind of help find where it is that maybe you're not happy. And what I do, that's kind of what I do in my consultation. It's a 1 hour. We sit down together. We go through some questions and things to kind of figure out where it is that you feel you need the most help. And I try to make it the most valuable hour possible to see if it's something that you want to work with me or not. I still try to give you the value in that hour that you can help yourself with.
That's great. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. So everyone, you can go to heathermcnally.com. And so you have a free consultation though. You have a free, okay, that's great. That's great. Plus the book and the journal.
All the things. They're right
all
there.
all the things that you need to learn about Heather. She's amazing. And she just launched her coaching program as well. Congratulations.
Thank you. And you're amazing as well. You providing this space for people to hear these stories and kind of break through.
Yeah.
Is just outstanding.
That's what my platform is all about. Helping women, empowering them to share their real life stories.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Looking forward to this episode. This is actually live on YouTube right now. We will be on Spotify by the end of the week on Friday. So I'm really, really happy about that. And I just want to say, everyone, please do not be afraid to share your story, because your story will have a huge impact. You never know who's scrolling on social media. You never know. Never know.
Absolutely.
That phone, they're going to call you, or they're going to share this live out. So please share this live out with a friend, a sister who needs to hear this message, in a Facebook group. We're going to end the live right now. So please do not forget to subscribe to my podcast, which is on Spotify, Apple, all the live streams at Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. And if you would like to receive resources that will equip and empower you on your healing journey, please go to my website, letsbreakthesilence.com. And then I also am offering free journal prompts at letsbreakthesilence.com/journal prompts. Your healing starts now. And we're going to end the live on Instagram as well. Thank you, Instagram viewers, for tuning in this morning. And we want to wish you all an amazing day. Please stay in the green room for a minute. Okay. Bye, everyone. Have a blessed day.